You are listening to Insights with Kathleen. Please join me while I share my insights and experiences with the hope to inspire you to look inside of yourself for the answers that you already have. As with all information we receive, take what speaks to you and leave the rest.
Well, welcome back, everyone. We are on season 2 now.
Hi, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2022,
Right?
I believe.
Yes, that would be it.
A lot of twos.
A lot of twos.
Oh, we've missed you guys. I've missed them.
I've missed you too.
I've-
No, I missed having conversations and sharing. our
of
thoughts.
course. Yeah. No, I've missed that as well. And I know I have a question that you're going to ask me that you're going to ask me.
Well, you just lost me already. But yes, but before we get into me, you knowing that I'm going to ask you a question that I know that you know that I'm going to ask the question.
Nice.
Okay, good. That I just hope and wish that everyone is well. Everyone who's listening are well. So that
Ditto.
being said, all right, so Sherry. Guys, are you ready for this? All right,
Yes, I'm ready.
so Sherry, what's
So,
on your mind
Kathleen.
today?
Well, I'm glad you asked what was on my mind today. So, a big thing that I've been discussing with you behind the scenes is like labels. And I know for me, a lot of times I always like stick to a label. So, I'm a
Are
musician.
we talking shipping labels?
Shipping
I'm
labels?
kidding.
She's so funny. She got
Not
jokes
really,
for
but-
2022. Not shipping labels, but more so along the lines of like trying to figure out who I am. And for example, one would be like, I had a previous podcast before and everyone knew me as the person that had the That's Enough Sherry podcast. And when that kind of faded away, I like looked to music and everyone's like, oh, you're the music person. So I kind of fixate and obsess over these labels. I'm trying to find a way to blend them all together and not obsess over these so much.
Yeah. So first of all, let's just go back to the podcast that you're
Right.
saying that faded away, but
Yes.
that faded away on your choice, right?
Yes, it did.
Because you changed.
Yeah, I did
right?
change.
So then you flew into something else, but because now that you're growing
Right.
into this fabulous being,
Thank you.
and we're always growing and we're always evolving,
Right.
that you had decided that something didn't resonate with you,
Yeah.
and now, oh my goodness, this doesn't resonate with me, so I can't call myself a podcaster because, even though you really can because we're
can.
doing it,
Yeah.
but because your identity was so stuck on that single,
Right.
the Sherry Show.
The Sherry Show, honestly.
which is wonderful. And then you, I'm hearing what you're saying is then you refocused yourself and trying to identify yourself through another avenue or venue, if you will, right?
Right.
So if I'm also understanding what I believe the question to be is, who am I?
Right.
How do I define me to
Right.
people who are asking?
Oh, for sure. It's always the question of like, hey, what are you up to? What do you do? All these different things.
Right. And then you get those people who come by and they question, Sherry, we haven't seen you in forever. What have you been
Yeah.
up to since school, man?
Yeah.
Right. And then
yeah.
you're like, well, now I feel like I have to give my credentials and I feel like I have to
Right.
give my resume and I feel like I have to
Right.
validate me as a person.
Yes.
So in essence, that's really what you're asking, right?
Yeah. How do I validate myself as a person? Because I transitioned to different schools too. I was at a community college for a bit and now I'm transitioned to a university with people who don't know me. So I guess I'm feeling a little lost as well. So the first thing I threw out is, well, I still do music. And everyone's like, oh, you're the music person. And I'm like, ooh.
Or the person with a different color
yeah.
hair
yeah,
tips.
Yeah.
Right?
And I always felt I needed something like that because, I had I colored my hair or I always had my guitar out or I did the podcasting and there was all these different labels and
Yeah, and you know what? That's very natural and very human. And I think some of that is programming that we've received as young people,
Yeah.
right? Through our family, through our friends, through, like the whole collective, if you
Yes.
will, of people that surround us, right?
Right.
So then we feel like, oh my goodness, I do have to validate who I am, what I'm doing with my time. Because again, that's a program that has been run for forever.
Right.
But what if we really didn't have to validate? What if we
What?
could just say, hey, man, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I'm doing great. I've just been doing things.
What if someone's like, what things?
that's up to you, right?
Right.
It's up to you to, how much of you do you want to share?
Right.
Right? It could just be, things that bring me joy, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean, it could be as vague as you want it to be, or it could be as specific as you'd like it to be. So like if you're really proud about an accomplishment and you want to share that accomplishment,
Right.
and if it makes sense to share that accomplishment with that person, you certainly can. But these things don't define who you are as a person.
Right.
These are things that are an expression. Your expression, your creation, but it's not who you are.
Wow. That's great. No, you're right. And I guess for the longest time, even from family and relatives, it's like, oh, you do this, or you are this, or can you play us a song or something like that. So what I would do is I would just obsess over trying to be the best, because I'm like, well, if this is what I'm known for and what I'm labeled as, I have to be the best at it.
Right, but it really comes down to something bigger and deeper.
Right.
Right. It comes down to acceptance. I need someone else's approval and someone else's acceptance.
How do you do that?
Come on, Sherry. I am the great Cathleen.
Listen, Miss Great Cathleen. Okay. It is hard. So I guess for me, growing up in this age, right, everyone just needs validation for everything. You see it. Well, they don't need it, but it's, people enjoy it. I certainly do. I'm not going to lie. I either get it from like either social media or just telling people, oh, I've been doing these things, and people be like, wow, you're doing all that, and I'm trying to find the validation within myself. I'm trying.
Well, yeah. And that's hard. Let me just validate this. Okay.
Thanks.
As human beings, we all struggle with this.
Right.
We all do. And I think anyone who comes and says, oh, no, they're lying through their teeth, because at some level, at some point in life, we do struggle. We want someone's approval. We want someone's validation. And I know for myself, I spent a good bulk of my life with that, needing that.
Right.
And it took a lot of growth and insight to realize that the only person I need validation from is myself.
Ooh. That's a good one. And I do want more of that from myself, because I guess for me, if my thing would be is, oh, if I'm not doing something, I'm lazy, or I'm deemed as lazy, because that would be like within my family, like if you're not doing something, you're being lazy, or you're being this.
And what's that called?
Invalidation?
Programming.
Ooh. Give it to me again. Programming, you say?
Sure, it's programming.
Okay.
Right? And I think once we realize that when we feel like we're struggling with something, so that's our first sign. Struggling. I'm struggling. Something's not feeling right. There's contrast. Mm-hmm. There's a contrast that's happening from where I am now and for where I want to be.
Right.
Right? That's an opportunity. That's a signal to say, oh, I might need to dive a little deeper into this. Right. So then when we're diving a little deeper, we're like, I have this need, this urge that I'm like, I just want to lay. I'm tired. I just want to lay around and just hang out and do nothing. Think about nothing, do nothing.
Right.
But in the back of my head, I have this program that's running, well, you're a lazy nit. You're going to get fat because you're laying around. You're not doing anything.
Right.
You have to be productive. Get up and be productive. And now what you're doing is you're also creating this level of stress all around you.
Yeah.
So when you know the story's starting to happen, that's a program. So tearing the program down, doing some self-talk. Hey, you know what? It's okay. That was their story, their program. That's their perspective.
Right.
But I'm okay. I'm over here. My body needs this. My mind needs this. My soul needs this.
Soul needs it.
I just need to be here, and I'm a better person for it.
Nice. No, I love that. I like that. And I think people like underestimate how important self-talk is. I do. Because I'm like, I'm just saying words. But there was at one point where I was doing a lot of this self-talks while I was, walking and meditating. And my goodness, the world of difference it made for me just in my everyday life was just amazing.
Yeah. So maybe, a good self-talk phrase for this particular topic, right? For validation.
Yeah.
Is Sherry's making fun of me right now, people. You can't see this, but
She's
I am
twirling.
twirling my hair. And so Sherry's going to try and twirl her kinky short hair. And she can't do it as good as me with my long straight hair. But anyway.
See, they get a visual too.
So, in regards to validation, right, the self-talk that we can say to ourselves
Right.
is, you know, I am valid.
Mm-hmm.
I can be validated through myself. I am validated through myself. And I'm so grateful that I can self-validate.
Oh, that's so nice.
Right? And we all deserve that.
Yeah.
And we deserve to know that we're okay. And that each and every one of us are beautiful beings. And in our own way. And we each and every one of us brings a different perspective to the puzzle of life.
Ooh, that was delicious. That was delicious.
I think I channeled that one.
Yeah. I think you did. That's amazing. So you're right. Getting to the root of it and just figuring out why do you feel this way, or why do you feel you need to be tethered to these roles. And I know for me, it's a lot of See, I'm not good with the words. For me, it needs to come from self-validation, which makes a lot of sense.
Well, and that could just be one part of it, right? So you know, with this conversation, please know, and I hope everyone listening knows, that it's not a one quick fix. It really is about being your own detective. And it really is about going in and asking yourself and being honest with yourself, you know, some of those hard questions and those hard answers, right? So from what you shared with us here today, and we do thank you for being so open and sharing so much of yourself, because it is so valuable. And it helps so many people, right? That when we're honest with ourselves and then we look at things from all these other different perspectives, then it helps us, right? And then if we can be courageous enough to look at the stuff that sometimes is a little hard to look at, you know, and Cherry has shared with me many parts of her journey throughout these past few years, which I've been so blessed to share in. And one of the things that really amazes me about you, Sherry, is the fact that you're willing to dig in and do the hard work.
Oh, why, thank you.
You know, you're welcome, and you do a fabulous job of it, right? And there are just so many facets to things. So this piece here that we're talking about, the labeling piece, right? And then compartmentalizing these different aspects of your life. And then, you know, we can say, yeah, self-talk can help with that, but self-talk isn't all of it.
Right.
And we could also say, oh, programming. Okay, that's a part of it too. But it's also about experience. Sometimes it's about self-validating our own personal experience of things that may have happened to us.
No.
That may have set the stage of the particular programming, of a particular behavior, of all of these.
That makes, it's all click. Oh, she knew.
Yeah, you all can hear it, right? Click, 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 chick, chick.
I did. I was like, that makes sense, because I realized personally for me, there are like experiences, even like that I've shared with you, that I'm like, oh, whatever, this wasn't that bad. And you're like, no, you're valid to feel like upset about this or angry about this or whatever, because that is, you know.
Yeah. And here's the thing that even though, because as we're growing human beings, right, and we have these really, really early life experiences by people that we really love and who do love us.
Yeah.
And they're just doing what they know.
Right.
Whether it's consciously or unconsciously, you know, and it sets up patterns, and it sets up programming, and it sets up all this other stuff.
Right.
And the thing is when we make these discoveries, we are allowed to be mad at that. We're allowed to be mad at that experience. We're allowed to be just infuriated and sad and feel those feels. But we could also have compassion for those people that were a part of that experience or who helped set up the experience, right?
Right.
Because again, that level of compassion and empathy towards them, because where did they learn it from, right? And I think that if any of us are doing things consciously and it turns out to not be so great, so we're either like psychopaths, sociopaths, or, you know what I mean? So generally speaking, and you know, there could be other things, but just generally speaking, that if people are being hurt by other people's actions, right? We should always look at it with the lens of, that these people probably don't even realize that their actions have caused a trauma within inside someone else. You know, especially if that person is behaving or living unconsciously. And what do I mean by that? By not being totally awake, not by not with purposefully doing each action, right?
Yeah.
So consciously doing each action on purpose.
Right.
Right? So we have a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people.
Yes.
Right?
I can validate that.
Yeah, that are just going through motions.
Right.
And it's like a habit. And some of that's genetically written on our cells, right? And that's just from ancestral experiences that it's handed down from generation after generation after generation.
Yeah.
And this is where, Sherry, you amaze me, because you are breaking those generational behaviors.
Yay.
So you're changing for your part, for whoever comes after you and your family. You are changing history. You're changing it.
Oh, I love that.
Right? So you're changing programming. You're changing because you're working so diligently and so conscientiously on you, so that then you're going to be more mindful about the behavior that you put forward.
Right. Oh, thank you for all that.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
goodness. No, thank you. Yes.
Did you have anything more that
Well,
I mean, as far as the labeling and the
no, because you covered like the glacier piece, the underneath, every facet that I was thinking of. So no, you covered that extensively. Thank you.
You're welcome. So it's a good thing we recorded this,
Yes.
so that Sherry, just so you know, y'all, Sherry's going to be going back and listening to this.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right. Well, thank you, Sherry. I know that took a lot of guts on your part to be so open and share.
Thank you.
And on behalf of our listening audience, I want to thank you.
Thanks, guys. I love to do it.
And I'd like to thank everyone who's listening. Thanks for tuning in. And we look forward to setting out another one soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember that you are bigger than anything that you are going through or anything that is happening around you.